Hello, everybody, and welcome to finally our second installment of the Spare Brigade. Thank you guys so much for jumping on tonight. We have a wonderful show planned. I'm really excited to get us recapped and back into the scope of the game. But first, we're gonna introduce ourselves and kind of give some thanks. The theme you saw during our intermission screen was made by the Simulcra, or the twitter.com/the Simulcra. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But they do commissions for fantasy and for sci-fi and for tabletop themes, characters, podcasts, shows, you name it. Thank you so much for creating a wonderful, wonderful vision of the Spare Brigade and the world that they're set in. We're going to be probably doing some tabletop combat tonight on Roll20. So I'd also like to thank Retrograde Minis, where you can kind of create your own Lancer mechs, NPCs, and other kinds of fantasy creatures for any of your tabletop needs. Retrogrademinis.com. Also, they have a Twitter. Please check them out. It's really wonderful. And finally, we'll be having some music produced by Paul Melanson. They are preparing some stuff of their own, but you'll be hearing some of their really cool thematic themes throughout some of the combat and narrative engagement. So thank you to all these people who've allowed us to use their work to create this show, and it's very, very exciting. All right, so without further ado, let's start to introduce our players here, and then we'll do a quick recap. So from the top, let's start from the top right with our producer, Patrick. Patrick, will you please introduce yourself and the character you'll be playing tonight?
Yes, hello, I am Patrick, and I am producing things, which means that we actually got, we finally got the mics right, everybody. You can hear us.
We did it. We did it, everybody.
Yeah.
Look at us. Just look at us. Look how far we've come.
But yeah, I'm Pat. I am playing Axon. Axon is a former space brawl, Cosmo Brawl contestant who has been brought into the military and is getting used to life as a Lancer pilot and not just an esports boy, and everything that entails. And yeah, that's it for me. Let's pass it on.
Hey, Pat, also thank you for introducing yourself. Guys, check out Patrick's stuff. It's really wonderful. Pat, I think we're having some issues with the video on Twitch right now. It's at a handful of frames per second. Could you check that? Just wanted to be sure that we're all good with that. We'll continue on with introductions, though. Let's go below to Talon. Katie, would you like to introduce yourself? You're muted. It's okay.
There we go. Hello, I'm Catherine. I play Talva, a four-armed, desert-looking lizard person with a love for trying to fix up human and other bodies, and messing around with that sort of thing. Also slightly impulsive. I don't know where she gets it. In terms of me, I just do art stuff, and that can be found at Kathina Draws on Instagram or Twitter.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Katie. Check out her stuff. Like I said, she made some of the art here as well, and thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the kind of cast we have built here together. Then with that in mind, yeah, it looks like we have the video stuff fixed, at least on my end from what I'm seeing, Pat. So good work.
Yes, sorry about that. I found a tab that was apparently also trying to upload a video to YouTube. So, can't do those things at the same time, apparently. And that was hiding on me. Sorry, everybody.
YouTube is trying to just steal our content, just siphon it, just to fuel its conquest. Alrighty. So finally, Zeta Pt.2, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Jules Harlock, otherwise known as Pt.2. once roiled, turned scavenger of sorts. But yeah, I'm quite happy to be here again.
It's always a pleasure to have you on stream, man. Thank you so much for coming. Alrighty, then we're gonna go over to Alex.
Hello, I am an artist who streams art now. So if you want to come and listen to like synthwave and hard rock while somebody paints fruit and characters from Leland Zweihander game currently, come give me a follow either on Twitter at CanChaosArt or on here on Twitch on CanChaosArt. I'm playing Sean, who is... This is me on the chaos scale. Sean's more like down here. Not out of the chaos range, but he's a lot more toned down. He's been through a lot. Like, he's in his mid-40s now, and, like, still going on. He's only recently become a pilot. Wonder why.
Converting all your trauma into raw sexual energy. I don't think anyone else...
That's right, I gotta get the voice right.
Yes, I don't think anyone else other than Sean does something like that. Actually, you know what? No, thinking about no, never mind. I know people like that.
I don't even know how it just like, okay, well, I'm gonna
just
do
happened.
flirty. Okay, apparently this works.
It just happened. Alrighty, so now we're going to cut over to Leland. Leland, take us away.
Where are we going?
No, this is the part where you.
Oh, you said take us away. I didn't know where we were going. I was very excited
space.
to go on vacation.
going
But
to
anyway,
space,
no,
baby.
I space. Ooh, I like space. Anyway,
Space?
no,
I gotta have space.
I am Leland, aka Leopold the Just. You can find me on all the places. Do all sorts of things, and I'll talk more about that at the end. Do a proper plug at the end of the session. But yeah, I am playing.
I'm Thaddeus Brink. I can shoot a swamp squirrel out of a tree from 1,000 meters away with the rifle behind my back.
So cool. Killer cool. No, that's great. Check out his Twitter. Check out his everything, you guys. And I am ChatterboxAVA on Twitter /ChatterboxAVA. I do tabletop stuff. I'm around. I have begun to do some Old Republic streaming here and there on a friend of mine's channel, twitch.tv/Joddon, JODDONN, or ON. I'll plug it later. But it's very casual. Jump in if you guys ever really care for Star Wars stuff and Star Wars MMO. I'm playing a Jedi. It's kind of cool. And I will be our game master for tonight, running the scenes and all the mech stuff. And I think that's it's gonna get kind of crazy tonight. So bear with us. Alrighty. So without further ado, I will bring us into the world that we have put aside for a hot minute and are just now reevaluating. It's gonna get weird. Let me know if you guys can hear me any music. It's not working, so I'm just gonna try the other one. There we go. All right. It has been 24 hours since Corporal Sumi, Private Rennick, Langley, and Ensign Lon barged into the communications room with wounded. It's been 36 since your arrival to the soon-to-be colonized planet known as Bandy Prime. You were greeted by Lieutenant Dazra Thacker, an uptight officer welcoming you to the planet in lieu of his superior, Captain Shem Duralt. Duralt left to coax colonizers stuck at the border between the recently annexed territory known as the Meda Cluster and the rest of the Federal Alliance. This new territory has been under lockdown given the recent troubles it's been having with pirates, raiders, rebel holdouts, and of course, strange creatures known as exotic organisms. Your orders were to wait and abide by the commands of the local garrison on Bandy before being picked up by the rest of the 105th Armored Calvary Brigade. Despite the rigidity of the lieutenant, the local garrison showed you how to slack off the Bandy Prime Way, racing on hover carts, engaging with the research of a very dedicated Corporal TV, and enjoying copious alcohol. You have even scouted Corporal Sumi Arata as a potential mechanical cavalry pilot due to her deftness with machinery and vehicles. But those festivities were short-lived, as strangely, no reprimanding or punishment came from the lieutenant regarding some of your hijinks. No one heard from him after he delivered you to the barracks. When you investigated and found him in the comms, he appeared to be distressed and lacking his usual cheerfulness. Apparently, Captain Shunderalt didn't arrive at the border between the Meda Cluster and the rest of the Alliance. Stranger, comlinks to the nearby Winda spaceport cut off, and gunfire erupted within the barracks that you guys are now stuck within, held up within. It is kind of very sweaty and humid inside this comm room. Because after a long day of really doing anything but your jobs, you've had a day, exactly 24 hours, which is technically Earth Terran time, since this planet became the host of these dangerously otherworldly monstrosities known as exotic organisms. Lieutenant Thacker has ordered everyone to stand guard within the underground headquarters and this comm room as he and Sumi attempt to contact inner space. Sound good? Am I going too fast? Anyone want to anything you guys want to say or do at this time?
What type of you said we're held down in the base because of lockdown? Are we all in like the same
But Charlie
room or
and
something?
V, you both see that.
Yes, you are. You will see. You will note that for 24 hours, you've been in this very small communications array. This underground headquarters has a room where a lot of the signal is strongest and connects with the spaceport, and then goes out to the rest of the planet and beyond. But this room is really meant for like 5 people at a time. There are 10. Counting yourselves, the lieutenant, some of the wounded, and your recent comrades that you bonded with yesterday.
Are there any tables around or anything that I can be like sitting on to try and have my own personal space?
That's actually a good point. There is a table, and it appears to be where some of these soldiers, Langley and Rennick, the 2 people who escorted you from the spaceport, and this kind of very raggedy-looking person, Ensign Lon, are playing blackjack using MREs as currency. So no, the table is kind of stuck up. Sean, you wanted to do something?
Yeah, is Caps the guy who was doing the research with bug signals in here?
No, he was at the spaceport when it cut off and everything went to hell. So he's nowhere to be found. Yes, Jules.
But,
yes,
I was gonna say,
go ahead.
but do we still remember like what those frequencies are, and can I basically try and use the communications to try and keep an eye on that frequency just in case it starts acting up again?
Roll me a d20 to see if you can remember and attempt to work with the comms. They are having a hard time at this moment. Okay, now Pt.2.
I was just gonna
5.
say, can I take out the orb from my pocket that I usually do and just start fidgeting with it?
Actually, I gotta get to you in a second here, Pt.2. So you rolled a 5, which is bad. I think you are looking at the comms, and you're kind of trying to move in between Thacker and Sumi, the one who you noted was incredibly skilled with the hover cart, and she's kind of just at work and trying to do her best, while the others are kind of slacking off and trying to distract themselves from the giant invisible thing that they couldn't see that was killing everyone in the barracks. So there is a creature in the barracks, and you guys are trying to be quiet. And so you're reaching and tapping into the comms. And you're not really getting anything, and Thacker is just kind of gives you a look like, Brigadier, I need the station for the moment. Could you please back away? You're muted. It's okay.
I could make a small recommendation. It was a signal that Colonel Taps, communications officer Taps, was tracking to do with the insects. It cut out right before the attack. It may be a way of telling when it is either over or changing.
Noted. Who's Taps? And Sumi comes in. I think he means Corporal TV, sir. Yes. Duly noted. But even if we were to get any contact to the spaceport, which I'm trying to do, I'm not sure we'd be able to hear it. But and he moves back to the comms. Meanwhile, you're hearing these like kind of audible sighs of frustration from the people at the table, as Ensign Lon is kind of just has his like hand down the hand of the cards and just raking in those
Everyone's rations.
Everyone's rations. And he's just sort of like he kind of snickers loudly and perhaps in a moment of he can't necessarily control the volume of his voice at this moment, but he's sort of like, at least they're good for something. And everyone kind of in this room begins to kind of just like turn their heads in this way and like, shh. And Thacker just seems to just kind of just like stand up from his chair and just kind of a quiet rasp outburst. I don't care how many games you've won, Private. The rations are for everyone, and by gods if you're not gonna share. And like just...
Yeah, we're starving over here.
And Lon's is sort of like, there's nothing to do here.
As a distraction, I will stand up and I will go to I don't know, the nearest person, whoever, and I'm just going to start checking over their physical, like giving them a physical, like checking their heart rate, checking the capillaries, checking
What the
their
hell are you
breathing.
doing to me?
I'm just checking some things to see if there's anything going on with our bodies. I'm not sure
My
if
heart
maybe
rate.
there's an infection.
sorry. My heart rate would be actually like elevated due to well, you don't know, just it's elevated.
Abnormal. Wait. In my textbooks, do I know if this is like elevated? I should at least know the number, right? Or
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. I think you would know it's an abnormal heart rate.
Nervousness probably.
Yeah, something like that.
do we have water here?
There
Like-
would be water.
I go get. I've learned this. I've learned many things. I go get the human some water, as I'm supposed to do. I go get them a glass.
Oh, thanks.
You seemed nervous, so
Oh,
and then
no.
I do the check for everyone else just to get a general sense of like, is there anything going on with our bodies? Are we like slowly losing oxygen? Are we under some sort of someone infected with something? I don't know. Is there some whatever basically?
I want you to roll me a d20, and I'm gonna let me know what you get. what did you?
I got a 14.
Okay. I'd say everyone looks pretty alright in terms of actual vitals. I will make a clarification. Like I said, there were wounded brought into the room. There are like maybe 2 or 3 who have shrapnel, minor shrapnel. It appears like these were the only people that could be saved from this initial attack in the barracks. There are some heart rates along the lines of Captain Brink, but otherwise, besides those wounded who you're still checking on and replacing bandages and caretaking measures like that, there's no general sense of anything wrong with most of these people here. Pt.2, do you accept this sort of forensic examination?
I actually at first slowly back away and I say, could you please explain to me what you're doing?
I'm just checking to see if there's anything abnormal with your situation. Yes, because we don't know what we're exactly up against, so I'm just covering my bases, if that's okay.
This is the first time since I've entered any sort of facility that I've been checked by medical professionals, so I slowly reach my arm out. Yes, I'm implying that Pt.2 has never really seen a doctor.
When's the last time you've been to a doctor? Never. My birth.
I guess I remember them checking me when I was younger.
So, Talva, you go and begin to investigate his body, their body. Sorry. And you would probably figure, given Pt.2's current stance, that they are still quite hungover from the escapades that they had with the alcohol, and that's where.
I forgot. I might be kind of hungover too, depending on how I handle my liquor.
I know Quantier had a harder time. It's up to you if you think the Gar have any big issues with that. I do actually want to move over to you, Pt.2. At Talva, you're going to continue your investigation, but your current equipment can only tell you that there might be abnormal heart rate and, of course, severe headaches and withdrawals, but otherwise you're not entirely sure. Pt.2. I want Pt.2 to make a D20 roll on Roll20, if you can.
Yes, one moment, please.
Of course.
Roll 20. My apologies.
Mm-hmm. If you're not on Roll20 right now, you can log on and we'll get back to you. All right, so Talva, as you approach Sean, is there anything that you would object to with their estimations of just medical examinations?
Sean, anytime you try to touch his throat, no, your hand just gets moved away, and he's very uncomfortable with you touching his back.
I'm not touch. Well, actually, the breathing test would touch your lower back to really. Ooh.
Yeah, and there's it feels a little bit weird.
Okay. I don't say anything. It's none of my other than are you dying or heavily infected with something? I'm not gonna say anything because for all I know, this is normal. For the most part.
Imagine my character is just sort of wandering around at this point, trying not to knock people across the head with the arm that's attached to his back. He has a robotic arm on his suit. Uh, so it's trying to keep that thing tucked in. It sort of has a mind of its own, so it's avoiding that. Other than that, I wouldn't say I'm up too much.
Okay.
What's our sports superstar up to?
Yeah, I was about to say, Axon. What's the?
Axon is just. I'm just kind of like I probably paced for a little bit, and then I might have found something to just be like tapping on impatiently before I started overthinking that and being like, oh, no noises. So more just kind of like he's just fidgeting anxiously, waiting for something to happen at this point. Like
Okay.
looking around, like, are we, so we're just staying in here? Not.
Yeah. Oh, are you saying that out loud or
We don't need to go get the mechs or deal with any of these. This problem's just gonna solve itself.
Thacker speaks up. If we move outside, we are all dead. I don't know if you saw what the wounded were like, but apparently there are a lot more out there dead because of a creature we cannot even see. And like he puts a hands to his mouth as he realizes he yelled a bit, and in the distance you can kind of hear the sort of loud shifting. And Thacker's like, Sumi, check it out. And Sumi just holds up a hand and like, I got it. And she moves to the doorway and like starts putting a ear to her head. All right, so Pt.2, you rolled a 5. Okay. Pt.2, after your sensitive, due to your sensitive tolerance to alcohol, you're currently undergoing a monstrous hangover, and the tension inside the comm room isn't really helping the pounding headache, and the strange swirls of color that linger on your retinas when you blink. And there are strange swirls of color that linger on your retinas when you blink too fast. And then something else. Oh, go ahead.
Does anybody else see these funky colors? They're very pretty.
I rush over. This is not okay. What? Did I miss something, or are they just really hungover?
It's you don't exactly know how Quantia react to alcohol, but it looks like from how they've handled it thus far. I'm sorry, I'm getting to
Okay.
something, Sean.
Oh,
But
sorry,
I will
go
get to
ahead.
you.
No problem.
But as yeah, so as far as you can tell from their current experience with alcohol, it hasn't killed them. But remember that their eyes are very kaleidoscopic, and there are different kind of colors that swirl in their retinas as well. So you know, people have different kind of eye colors. Some people's pupils might be purple, and their irises, like their fractal irises, are orange. You know, so I don't think they normally see these kinds of colors. I don't think they normally see these kinds of colors unless they're very fatigued. There is a little bar that helps you turn down the music. On the top right of Roll20, there's a little music icon. What were you gonna do, Sean?
I was gonna say, can I roll to find out if I know any if about anything to do with Quantier's interactions with alcohol?
Sure. I think. Actually, I'll have you both roll for it just to see
Okay.
if either you have a better shot at it, or not. Let me know what you guys get.
Yep. Sorry. It's not liking me tonight. Never mind.
Looks like the dice aren't really handling everybody pretty well tonight. Would you get, Katie?
Could I apply my medical knowledge to medicate or diagnose using patch for a +2?
Sure. You don't need a patch, but I'll say that you can use your medical knowledge with a +2.
Okay, just because it's one of the skill triggers I have. So,
Yes.
So that doubles it to 4.
I think I'll say for both of you, with your knowledge on Meda Cluster and hegemony culture, Quantiers did have forms of substances, especially liquid substances akin to alcohol. I think the difference is the difference in toxicity tolerance with Quantier is slightly lower than humans, enough that alcohol poisoning will affect them marginally more than a human's. But like I said, slightly lower, meaning that it's not going to kill them. It's not going to kill them more than it does humans. If that makes sense. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just giving my best estimation here. However, back to you, Pt.2. So at first, there were these strange swirls of color that linger on your retinas, and those start to fade away. But then something else kind of begins to take form. There's a strange static that seems to fade into view as you look around, and your headache kind of gets worse for a moment, and it feels like that your head is about to split into two. The longer you look at the static, it looks less like the white and black cavalcade of a television screen, but almost like small sentient blobs shifting and moving to a purpose. Lavash. You hear a strange voice echo into your mind. Get us to Lavash. This vessel will not survive long if you do not retrieve Lavash.
May I just start screaming?
Oh.
No, I want something. I have something I'd like to scream, but
Are you going to?
Down, you fool.
Are you going to? Are you screaming or are you going to scream?
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a die real quick. Okay. Uh-huh. Everyone just immediately turns to you, and Sumi just kind of just like nearly kind of just like collapses by the door because she's keeping a look at, like, listening very closely outside of the hallway as your scream comes out, and Thaka is just like, what's wrong with him? Quiet, shut up.
We all need to get out of here right now. Right now.
No
Get to Olmec,
shit.
get to Lavarsh, get to mine.
So you hear just sort of like,
Can I roll a spot to see if there's anything, like any sort of anybody in the room that seems to be less surprised by this than others? Somebody that might be.
I was about to do the same thing, so yeah.
you know what? Go ahead, Pat, or Axon.
I was going to also like to look around the room, but I'm slipping my stylish designer shades on. Those anti-photon visors, just to look and see if I can see anything that's slightly outside of human visual frequency, if anything like that shows up.
Can I interject on that for a moment? Because I feel like that would bypass my proso collar in some way, the holographic thing that I'm trying to keep my own personal space for a very good reason. Because if somebody gets real close to me, then they might be able to see that that I have a holographic disguise.
I mean, the glasses don't do that much. They do shit with
Oh, okay,
like UV. They do shit with like UV light. So I was
Okay,
just
yeah.
I was looking to see, on the off chance that something sheds a different kind of light here than us.
So hold on. I'm just looking at photon. What's it called?
Anti-photon visors.
Anti-photon visors.
Commonly found among breach teams and solar forward operators. They help against flash weapons, intense UV light, and incidental charges from energy weapons. So I recognize it's a stretch. I just figured I'd.
Okay.
If
so
nothing
first,
else, I'm putting them on because they look cool.
Okay. Oh, definitely. First of all, they look fucking stunning. But no one can really focus on that because someone screamed and they're starting to hear bumps in movement outside in the hallways. Loud enough that it reaches you guys. Think like a high school hallway, like how loud something needs to be. For spot, I want both whoever wants to do spot to go ahead and give me a roll. That's just as a d20, and then if you have any triggers, you add them.
It says +2 next to spot for me. That's
Then roll
trigger,
+2.
right? Okay,
Mhm.
all right. Just making sure that's what a trigger was.
It's okay.
An 18 total for Thaddeus.
There's no one in this room who I think Axel knows too. There's no one who knew any of this was going to happen, and everyone's playing it by ear. Captain Brink, as someone who is particularly versed in not hiding one's identity, but hiding one's inner fear. You can see that Thacker is just terrified that his plan wasn't working before, and now that this happened, his current idea of how he can get everyone to live through this has just sunk. And I think this is actually apparent to everyone because you all rolled a success. And Sumi just sort of just like sees Thacker just kind of in this vice, and then she's just strutting over and grabbing him by the collar, like, we are leaving now.
Like,
Pack your shit. Pack your shit. Let's go. Oh, go ahead.
Freeze frame. Just if I can, just have two questions. Are there any dead bodies, and is there anything flammable?
You want to look at the comm room and see if there's any dead bodies or anything, any equipment in here, yeah?
I just meant like since we've been in here a while. Did anyone pass that I wasn't able to save? Is there anything flammable?
There would be flame retardant, like a fire retardant canister affixed to the wall. There would be I'd say maybe kind of like on the other side, like a med kit, with maybe 2 patches. You're muted.
Okay, so I would have grabbed the medical stuff, and then I quickly grabbed the fire retardant.
Okay. Add 2 patches like reserve. There's a thing on your page called reserves. You can go. I think that it might be in player gear. I can also you can also just remember. I'll let me see if I can add it to your yeah. And so reserves and bonuses. You go to.
I got it. I figured out how to do it, I think.
Okay, great. And Sumi, kind of, you guys, some of the people here have weapons and armor. Some people just have weapons. I believe you guys would be geared, or no, you guys. I think you guys went on some adventures without your gear. You guys put your gear in your barracks, right?
Usually I keep, as the incident where I almost decapitated a person. I keep my weapons on me, which may not be the best idea for a medical person, but I think I wouldn't usually have them on me.
Um, hmm. This is a good question. I think most of the people who are present were on patrol. They didn't bunker down for the night, so they would have gear. Um, I'm okay with you guys having your gear, unless you think you wouldn't, and then we would do maybe a skill challenge to get to the barrack, to get to your barracks. Um, so Sumi kind of just pokes her head through the door, and weapon raised, and there are just this grinding and bumping and bludgeoning, like you can hear like walls being scraped and crashed into down the line, and like go, and they're all kind of just moving as kind of as quietly as possible through the hallway. I want you guys to roll me a d20 to determine how that goes for you. If you have any bonuses, you can ask me to see if you think they're applicable.
This feels like a stay cool
I'm
situation.
sorry, I just
right?
had an absolute fibro moment. Can you repeat what you just asked us to roll for?
Just roll a d20 to see if you guys are moving quietly, successfully.
Thank you. Sorry, I like listened to it all and was like, okay, I got this. Wait, no, I don't got this.
It's
I'm
okay.
very
I have
sorry.
ADHD. It's okay.
So this would be a task that requires concentration, dexterity, speed, or precision under pressure, right? Sounds like a stay cool.
That sounds like a stay cool. I think being quiet means keeping yourself composed. You don't slip up.
Act unseen or unheard.
Okay, so that's a +2 from you. Okay, this is going well. This is fine. Already. Let's see. I'm still waiting on Sean and Talba.
I got a 5. Unless I
Oh.
can take control of myself, but I doubt that, so I got a 5.
Oh my god.
Sean, we match. Twins.
Twinsies. Okay.
I'm sorry,
alrighty.
I'm glad I'm muted because I swore a lot.
It's okay. You can swear here. This is a swear-friendly channel. So you guys are not being subtle. I think the general read of the room, especially with the other soldiers. Oh yeah, no. Everyone is determined to get out, and everyone's freaked out. There's no tactical tactical aura among the rest of the soldiers as well. Everyone's just sort of moving on fear, and that's when the sounds get louder. And kind of just across the other end of the hall, this long hallway, you're beginning to see strangest part about this, actually, Axon, you're wearing your anti-photon visor. You have your goggles on, and what everyone else sees is an almost entirely silent phenomenon that leaves imprints of sharp, long features on broken machinery and eviscerated terrain. Chunks of earth remain floating in the air, bobbing down, up and down, as if to the pace of breathing. You don't see anything either, Axon. You could reasonably theorize if this thing was remaining absolutely hidden to the human eye, that your anti-photon visor would be able to see it. But that's not the case. It doesn't bend light to cloak itself. It just can't be seen, as far as you're aware. And so you're watching, instead of a thing that you can see physically approaching, you're all watching just the trail of a destruction it's leaving on the stone and metal floor, and you're hearing just the grinding of metal as it just almost moves with this sort of almost gangliness. this is where we're gonna roll a d20 to determine if you guys are moving fast. Unless, actually, I will leave it to you. Do you want? What do you guys want to do? Do you want to? Go ahead, Talva. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, now that I see that this thing is freaking invisible, I'm going to. If I'm close, if it gets close to us, I'm planning on spraying it with whatever. If it's a powder type situation, or I don't know, whatever the fire retardant is.
Ooh, okay. That is a special tool. I don't know what it would do. I think it would try to maybe make an agility save. So you're gonna hold that until it gets close, though. Is that right?
Yeah, because I don't have enough unless it's on roll 20. Yeah, but yeah, I don't have a general idea of how close it is. But when I think it's close enough, I'm planning on doing that, just as a.
Okay, so you're not you're moving your same speed, and you're readying this action. The rest of the group, what do you anyone else have an idea?
So just to clarify, is this like we all turned a corner and then suddenly this thing is charging down the hallway in the path that we were going?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, accident. If there's any of the other like not us soldiers that are still running in that direction, I'll just try and grab and yank backwards to start turning people around.
Ooh, okay. So this would be a d20 to determine if you can influence them to change direction and try to distract. All right. So that is something you can do while it's charging down the hallway. So go ahead and roll me that d20 and see how that works out.
Yeah, just like not this way. Nope.
Can Sean help with that? And can I use charm?
You know what? I don't know if there are rules on if you can help a person. So I'm gonna take a look at the rules real quick. Let me see here.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
actually,
looking at
no, I know. You can give him a d6 accuracy.
Great.
Accuracy
Great.
is it isn't advantage like in D&D. It's you roll a d6 to add to an effect, and it doesn't stack. So if you roll multiple d6s, you're only taking the highest result.
Got it.
So
Gotcha. So I
so-
will roll a d20 plus my charm to see how many successes I would get.
no, you would just be assisting him with a d6.
So I get
Okay,
a d6
well,
that's
that's
from your
fine.
assistance, and then
I
you
will
could-
assist for a d6.
Okay, you can
And-
also try your own thing, but it's and also it's. I think it might be better if it's one roll of the d6.
Yeah, I'm all, and honestly, it's how I view the action. Is Sean would basically see Axton taking this and be like, "No, I'm going to help."
And this feels like a motivate a group of people into action, right? For leader inspire. Okay.
Yeah, you have leadership. Leadership.
Yeah, I have. Yep. A 23.
Oh yeah, at the moment it begins charging down the hall, you're just like pulling people around, and then like the first you drag like the first one or two people, and then everyone else is just kind of moving, and Sumi is kind of giving a nod like good thinking. Alrighty. If there's no one else that wants to do anything, I'll play out what happens next. Oh, unless we have
Yeah, I was
Captain
trying to say
Baker?
something earlier, but
Oh, go ahead.
no, I just stopped myself because I was interrupting someone. But anyway, no. So, all right, my character tosses up his Bowie knife in the air and and at the same time draws his, because he's got to look cool. At the same time, he draws his giant revolver, and then his arm, mechanical arm on his back, grabs the Bowie knife and starts like kind of waving it around, almost like cutting some of the fellow party members, because it's just dangerous. It's not a very. It needs a software update basically, and he doesn't know where to get that at. So it just kind of does its own thing. But yeah,
Are you gonna start shooting or
yeah, I'm gonna fire my gat. What are you talking about? It's called the Rat
Okay.
Gap for a reason.
Alrighty.
For shooting. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
To shoot, let me take a look at your bonuses. Go ahead and roll me a d20, and then I think you add. You don't add anything to it. It's just a straight d20 roll.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
It is known to jam. You know.
Okay. So, I was also gonna say after you roll, I would also have made you roll another d20 and make like you have a 50% chance of hitting it or not hitting it when it's visible. So you're pulling out your gun and you begin to start blasting. And so just the shots just ping off the ground like pew, pew, pew. And it starts moving faster.
No joy.
And that's when, as everyone's just moving away and trying to get to the other direction, like accent suggests, the creature just kind of crashes into the sort of wall between these two directions. And Katie, or Talva, I want you to roll me a d20, and see. You're muted.
I think it might be broken, but let me just try it one last time to see if it's broken. Oh, now get okay. So it's not broken, but I just got a 3.
Yeah. So, you see it crashing, and you just begin this flame retardant. You're not entirely sure how you missed because it's sort of like a spray and pray situation. I'll say you get maybe a part of its leg here and there where there's a lot of blood. And you think it's really it's incredibly difficult to notice the blood on its legs, surprisingly, and you're not entirely sure if the material that it gets on itself is phasing out of your sight as well, or if its form is just very hard to comprehend and determine where the things you spray on it are. So it's very hard to determine. So now it's crashed into the wall and it got sprayed. It's going to make an attack, and I'm going to roll a d20. Natural 1, thankfully. So it strikes in your direction, Talva. You see this like this sudden impact next to you, and that's when you kind of pull back instinctively, and you realize something. I want you to roll me a d20. I'm sorry.
No problem. I'm just gonna do a roll beforehand because now I'm superstitious apparently.
Okay.
My character yells out,
Take cover, Duck.
that was
On
a
the-
4. That seems to be the reaction based on the roll of a 4. Based on that.
I can't hear you.
Natural what? No, a natural 20. Yeah.
Natural 20. So this is the part when you begin to understand, because as you as Thaddeus kind of calls out, the creature shifts a little bit, and then you realize instantly it's based on sound. Its vision is based on sound and not movement. It doesn't I'll tell you this much, with Axe and the other people kind of on this side, it could have attacked them because they're a much bigger group of people, but it didn't because they didn't really do shit. And so you're figuring out just now, and perhaps in the most opportune time, that it can't see, it's blind, but it can hear. or at the very least, you're pretty sure that it can't see on its end, but it can hear on its end, just as you can only um, see its ripples and its sounds. And so you figure that out, and it's gonna make
Oh yeah. Oh, later or at some point when I realize this, I kind of like tap on, I don't know, the person with the arm, and I go point to it and go. Understand that as you will.
Thumbs up from my character. He knows all about hiding in places, so picks it up pretty quick.
Okay, so now we're in the next round. It has taken its action. Thaddeus, you know that it shifted toward you. You see like some destruction shifting towards you now. Is there anything any of you would like to do at this time? Now that you're oh yes, Pt.2.
Would I be able to throw on that cape I have? The one that sort of blends into the environment?
Oh wait, yeah, you have the what was that one called?
Let me go back to the CompCon.
You have the camel cloth.
Yep, the camel cloth.
The transition takes about 10 seconds. It makes anything hidden or anything very difficult to spot. I say you can throw it on. It will take a second to transition. Would you have noticed what Talva communicated with Thaddeus, though?
In my drunken state, I'm not quite sure.
You're not drunk. You're hungover.
Or hungover, excuse me.
That's okay. I'm just wanted to clarify. So like, still drunk after 24 hours though would be very fun.
Indeed.
For a quantier. Ultimate party pooper. That hangover. I think Sumi will catch on to Thaddeus and Talva because she's noticing them, and
Sean would have noticed that as well. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure I would have noticed too, because it's also a giant creature. Just like hide, get to back. That is goal.
Is this game initiative bay? Is it?
It is. This is technically some skill challenges. That's why we're not in combat. But what we're gonna do
let me
now.
know whenever I get a chance to do something again, because I have an idea of how to take this thing.
Well, that's why I'm asking each one person for like asking people for like one thing they want to do in this round too.
Gotcha.
So like
no, that's fair.
work.
I just was making sure how initiative worked. If it was group initiative or.
Sumi is going to pull out one of the rations and like throw it in the opposite. Try to throw it in the opposite direction. That's a success. And so she just like this soundly just, and as it's shifting towards you, Thaddeus, you hear this, and like hear a couple dings against maybe some broken metal, and then. As it begins to move in the other direction, and Sumi's just like motioning both of you to come their way, and like we'll probably initiate another like group stealth, or at least act on scene, because unless there's anything else you want to do towards the creature as it's distracted.
Yes, I was actually going to do a quick action to activate my invisibility cloak on my armor, and try to do the take someone out skill to slit its throat with my mechanical arm, real quick while it's paying attention to someone else.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
If that's a thing that's advisable, I don't know. I'm sort of having somewhat of a trouble understanding what we're fighting, so I don't know if I should kill it or not. But.
It's okay. That's something your character would do. I will say you can attempt to attack it with with your blade. I'm not entirely sure if that would give you invisibility cloak just makes it harder to hit you rather than you having a better chance to hit. If that makes sense.
Oh
So
no, I just have the take someone out skill. It said kill or disable someone quickly and quietly. I didn't know if I could.
oh god, sorry. There are grunt characters like minions that you can do that to, which is perfectly fine. I think this is like a mech. This is technically a mech sized creature you're dealing with. So like it's like
I didn't realize how big it was.
it's ginormous. We're not talking about like this invisible stalker thing. We're talking about this like just invisible monstrosity. You know?
I totally missed the size description at some point.
I didn't mention it. I'm terribly sorry. I should clarify. It is the path of destruction.
Yeah,
has been making is
the way you were describing it kind of made it sound like maybe 10 feet long.
Mm.
And like about 8 feet wide.
I thought it was like a big burly thing that was bashing into stuff. But anyway, no. Instead, I will go invisible and hide.
Okay.
Much different, but similar.
I apologize for not clarifying sooner.
Quick action.
Okay, so quick action, visibility, and then you're beginning to hide. Anyone else this round?
Sean is going to be trying to like get people moving again, like so we can kind of get towards like the barracks, so we can at least get some of our weapons. But trying to do it as slowly and as carefully and as quietly as they can.
All right, so I will give you guys accuracy now that you know the game plan to hide from this creature. So you will have a roll d20 plus d6 accuracy, and then tell me whatever trigger you might think will be useful for this.
Both charm and move and act unseen.
Act unseen will probably be a bit better for you.
There's nothing I can do for myself, but it's if like I don't know, Pt.2, then I will look to them and like gesture to like take it slow. It's okay. I know you're a bit hungover, but let's just calm down. You can do this, and try and take control, and I don't know, just help them out, even if it's just for story purposes.
May I utilize act unseen or hidden?
I think
unseen or unheard. Excuse me.
Yes, if you have it, you'll have +2.
I do.
Okay, great. Then I think you'll be able to add your take control if you're guiding Pt.2, as you guide them just through the hallway here.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a die that isn't gonna betray me. I'm so sorry.
Should I roll as well?
Yes, please.
Well, it wasn't a 1.
Wasn't a 1.
And then should I do I should add a +2 to it, right?
Yes.
It might just be considered to be assisting everyone else.
Oh, you don't roll another d20, but that 11 will count. You add a /R 1d6.
Well, 1d6. 1d6 would be.
Okay, so that's 15. You're already in the clear, but if you added +2, that would be 17. So you're getting it while others aren't. Axon.
And I thought I was the hungover one.
I think what Axon is doing is if Sean has started kind of leading the group down the next hallway, I'm probably staying at the corner just kind of waving people down. Down and around.
All right. Thaddeus, are you also going to roll?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, also, I got a 4 plus nothing. Apparently, yeah, the alcohol's hitting me pretty hard. Pretty hungover.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have Thaddeus. Thais and Pt.2. Um, okay. So I will. What did you roll, Talva?
I rolled a 4.
That is a group success. Um, three to two. Which is good. So you guys are correcting yourself and correcting small movements. Um, it appears that this thing is still searching out, but you can't tell what it's up to. Now that you're all calmer and collected, and eventually, um, um, you make it to the point where any sounds it might be making through its movement are more and more distant. Um, and Sumi is just holding up her weapon, which appears to be sort of just like this energy, this like shotgun looking creation here, with like just a big barrel. Just kind of watching the corner and like as people are moving through, some of the wounded look very tired. Um, in fact, I go as far as to say that they are much more haggard and fatigued than others, than the others. Um, Langley and Rennick are whispering to each other. Langley, did you see what the captain did? And they're looking at you, Brink. And Langley's is sort of like, yeah, start shooting at that thing. That's the bravest fucking thing I've ever seen. God, I we got like some legends here. Like this, like I asked for Exon's autograph and he gave me one. And it's like Rennick's and Lance is sort of like, I know a lot of people who'd be interested in having that in their collection if you look at the cell. And Langley's like, we are about to die. Read the room, man. And it's like Lon's like, just thinking of the after game, you know? Just come on, you know. And Subi's just like, shh. Quiet. What about this situation communicates this kind of conversation? Thacker is white knuckling his own sort of like assault rifle looking weapon, and you guys kind of approach the armory. You guys did some really cool stuff. So the armory will allow you to gear up for the exfiltration to the tram, as well as other things. We are reaching 12:30. We'll probably be taking a break at 12:30, so I'll have a little bit more time to see what you guys can do with this armory. So, you guys make your way in. Some of the less sort of armored and equipped people begin to start taking things off the shelves and like sort of like as they've drilled multiple times, begin readying up and equipping themselves and Sumi looks to Lieutenant Thacker. Lieutenant, very sorry about what's been happening, but if you want to jump back in, I think we could use a commanding officer right now. And Thacker's just yeah, thank you, Corporal. I have a plan. I have a plan. We don't know exactly what will be on the other side of the tram at Window Station, but these pilots are key to getting out of this alive. But we also have the space elevator. If we can get some of our power lifters to the elevator, we may be able to activate some of the automated defenses around the spaceport. That might give the pilots more time to destroy these creatures if possible, and give us more time to contact the Canopy of Joy. There is a armored supercarrier that would have picked these pilots up that we could see if they could hasten their approach. So, in short, we get them to the hangar, we get them in their mechs, we get the powerlifters, contact into space, and then the stars will have our fates, I suppose. Now, I'm up. Uh, um, uh, Styles be our guide. And he sort of just lumbers over and starts taking stuff, and like this sort of this still this lingering energy of um of doom over him.
Sean's
Same.
going exactly to where his very specialized set of weapons are hand-to-hand combat are being kept in the armory.
You go to your bag and you just start pulling out knives.
No, you know the ones I'm talking about. The two-handed one.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want so I think only Pt.2 and Talva would see this, or actually know what the hell it is. Everyone else kind of like notices it, and they're kind of like intrigued and like kind of surprised. The weapons that Sean pulls out, they are called Dirtanas. They are plasma sads, like commas, like the mini sads. They're plasma handheld sads with a cord between that. Both of you would know from hegemony equipment. Plasma weaponry, primarily CQB, is normally associated with the Phaleron. Yeah, Pep2?
Can I run over and just try to take one?
They're connected by a cord, so you'd be taking both.
Oh, I'm very aware of that.
Don't you have a particular weapon of your own?
I do.
Yeah, Talba. You're muted.
Last time I did something hasty in their presence, I got tackled. I don't know if I'm still just as jumpy, but I might like throw my hand towards them to try and stop them, just out of instinct.
Oh, towards Pap2. You guys can roll d20. Add any bonuses you think might be necessary to this if you want to challenge it.
This
Alright.
is ridiculous.
I'll also mention there are a couple bonuses that you guys can choose from for reserves before you forge ahead. But let me know what both of you roll, Pap2 and Talbot.
I look over to Sean and Axon.
Are these two always fighting?
I want to use take control as well, so +2 to my roll.
I don't think that would apply.
Oh, okay. I understand.
I think this is more of a skill of dexterity rather than taking someone's weapon. Control would be like a situation or like swaying people to do the thing you want to do.
Oh, okay. I got an 11.
Okay.
Even if I could apply any of these modifiers, I still got a 6.
So Pap2 goes over and tries to take one of your Dirtanas, Sean.
What is wrong with you?
I want to get out. I want Lavarche. They tell me to take it. I need that. I remember that. It's something I remember. It's something that's comfortable.
You can't take.
Can
them
I
if
do
they belong to you.
does Lavarche ring any bells with me?
Would you have told them the name of the thing associated with Lavarche?
I would probably just use it out of context because, like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just say Lavarche nonstop.
Doctor? Doctor!
Pap2's got that one-track mind.
No, Sean's not letting you fucking have his weapons.
Sumi, you're going to say something, Tava?
I'm just kind of like, I don't know what's going on. I ain't a fucking
something-
priest. I ain't gonna deal with no fucking possessions.
Sumi walks.
Pt.2, what is Lavarche? Stop
Lavarche
reaching for
is-
them. You're not touching them. They are
Lavarche
mine.
is my everything. I sort of just like look down.
Sumi kind of comes over and like, okay, buddy, we're gonna get you to Lavarche, but to do that, you're gonna need to let Sean have their weapons because either it's they're gonna be using it against the thing outside or the thing against you. But we're gonna get you to Lavarche, okay?
If I remember correctly, those were used by royal guards, right?
They are used by in the word yes, kind of. There are families of royal guards. The pagum. Um but it's weird for Sean, a human, to be having these. Is something I should also mention. Um
And he's got like the proper holsters for them too. Like it's part of like he's got gear, and these do not look brand new. They look like they've been through shit.
When my head is less hazy, I'd like to ask you some questions.
Can I walk up to
I'm unlikely
Sean?
to give you any answers that you want.
Fair enough.
What you want to do, Tava?
Can I walk up to Sean?
Mhm.
And I take out a couple like what looks like braided roots with like these sharp crystals coming out of them in a couple different colors, and I say, this could maybe help them calm down. Do you think they need something like this, in your opinion?
Yes, very
I
much so.
I will go try that. Thank you for your opinion. And then I take this. I take the bracelet and I show it to Pt.2 and I say, "We just need you to put this on because you're a bit not okay right now, and I don't know what to do." So
You see my character like put his hand on his revolver, which is in a holster on his belt, and then just says,
Yeah. It might be best if you put it on.
Okay.
We don't have time for your antics.
Okay, I see. If it'll get me closer to Lavarche, I
And-
grab it.
and then it kind of like grows around your wrist as you put it on, and then just whoosh, as it jabs into you, and the little sharp crystally things kind of like drain of color, and you feel mellow as fuck.
I just sort of like put up a thumbs up, like I feel better, and I'm like shaking a little bit.
Okay, so use your second stem, I'm guessing. All right, so I think we're gonna start to take a break, but I want to mention 3 items that any of you you guys can maybe talk about during break or during the game about who wants what. But we have available and that at the end the garrison president right now, they're letting you have these because you know you're priority number 1, your alpha priority. The extended harness, a extra core battery, and a thermite charge. So think about that. Thermite charge is an explosive. Extended harness is something that allows you to have another pilot weapon on you, and the core battery allows you to kind of use your mech's ultimate a second time in a given scene or after the if you're still in operation when you don't have that core battery available. So um, we'll think about that, and we're gonna go on break for a bit, 10 minutes. You know, time to get some drinks, take care of yourselves, you know, everything, stuff like that. And when we return, we'll do our second fucking voyage into um out into everything. All right, we're back. All right, great. Thank you for bearing with us. We are finally back, and now we're in the middle of the barracks. You guys have some assets you can choose from. I will repeat them again. We have an extended harness, which allows for a additional piece of an additional pilot weapon and 2 extra pieces of pilot gear. This could be anything, and I would allow you to select a new add a new weapon and add a new set of gear to the harness of whoever gets it. Then we have a core battery, which, as I mentioned before, is for the mech and sends it into a specific kind of overdrive, special to each frame. And finally, we have, what did I call it? The thermite charge, which is a particular number concerning explosives. We have
I want that one. The bomb. Just
any.
throwing it out there.
Okay, Pt.2.
I would gun for the battery immediately.
Okay.
I don't know. It's between me and Sean, I think. But personally, would that let me like get one of those barricade things that I can like put a portable cover?
Oh, is that on the gear?
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Let
Anthony,
me.
you're echoing.
Yeah, I think it's from Katie's audio. But she muted, so I think we're good. Let me take a look at the gear available. Yeah, sorry, I have to go to a different. Okay, portable cover. Nope, there is no portable cover. There is portable cover for mechs. I don't think we're necessarily at a place where you can switch out the equipment on your mechs. So no. All right, so no one has ejected to Pt.2's core battery or Leland's thermite charge. That would leave the extended harness. So the 3 of you, do you want do any either of you have any particular?
I mean, I could use it for holding more supplies to keep you guys going, but it's up to you. What do you think?
I have no objections to that.
Don't you have 4 arms?
She does.
I can always use more pockets.
Yeah, it's like no, that makes that's what I was about to say. That makes this is my character's voice, but that just makes perfect sense for you having 4 arms, just having more pockets.
It's
Anyway.
actually just a pair of cargo shorts.
Yes, someone who appreciates cargo shorts.
Tactical cargo shorts. Okay. So you get that extension. Like I said before, for those who have received these reserves, you go to your character sheet and you go to reserves and bonuses, and then you add them in. You'll find core battery in the mech section, extended harness in the tactical, and the thermite charge. I don't know if you can get that specifically. Let me see here if that works.
It's a one-time use, I imagine, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna throw it, and then you're gonna tell me what it does whenever I throw it at someone.
That's perfectly fine with me.
But if I buy more in the future, then I will put it. I will go through the trouble of trying to figure out how the hell to put it on this character sheet.
Okay, it's okay. I think there will be there might be we'll look into it later. But for now,
For sure.
You guys have your stuff. Sumi is taking empty clips from different weapons, and she's handing them out to people. to each soldier. All right, so I've brain brain fart. I think these will help us when we're trying to evade it. When we think it's near, we're gonna toss one of these in a different direction. It doesn't have to be everyone, but one person. One person throws one clip in a different direction. See if that lures it off of us. And I feel like if we can get there quietly enough or get there quickly enough, we could get to the trams and um, get out of here. As anyone object? Anyone have any better ideas? Okay, that's fine with me. And so she hands you pilots the clips and like, I never thought I'd be the one handing out commands. Okay, so
You know this place better than we do.
yeah, you'll be following me, in Thacker. All right. And she's just sort of like, she looks tired and like very kind of just done with everything. And so she goes up to the doorway, just opens the door and just puts on the ear. She opens the door and begins moving through. And there won't be accuracy for this one, but there will be another group roll, and this time I'm going to add Sumi to the mix. And she'll have let me see if I added any particular triggers that could be helpful here. Stay cool. Just stay cool. So she will have her own role. See, and she might be the tiebreaker in case we have any people here. So we're all going to roll a d20. Any bonuses that you added previously to sneaking around will be added. So let's go. Okay. 1. Okay, so just waiting on all right, we're waiting on Talva and
I got a 10.
Thaddeus. Okay, 10. Thaddeus?
10 also. Was I adding
okay.
+2?
Did you have anything with like act unseen or stay cool? Get somewhere quickly?
No.
Okay, then we'll just stick with
10
that.
it is.
10 it is. Fortunately, 10 is the success. Like the bar of success is like at the bar of success. I think some of you are just really looking forward to getting the hell out of here. But most of you are quiet and discreet. Pt.2, you are moving around the hallway a little bit too precariously, but nothing that would just intensely alert anything. I think you make a couple missteps, like you trip over yourself and like you kind of like catch yourself on the wall, and there's some shifting of movement as if it's getting closer. But
Would my
overall,
cloak be working well too?
remember that it works on sound, not sight. So you're
right.
invisible. You're invisible, but you're still making sound. Which is kind of the literally the killer here. And Sumi makes a sour face as you guys are getting closer to the tram, and she's like, "Fuck, I forgot. The train makes a bunch of noise, and if we start it up, it will." Oh, okay. No, it's good. We're good. The priority is getting you guys on that tram. Nothing else. And you guys finally get to the station. It looks like like a subway tunnel.
A large amount of thermite explosives that could make a lot of noise somewhere else.
We'll get some soldiers on that. You guys have to get to that tram though. That's when we start this up, we blow the thermite, and some people might have to stay here to cover the escape. Okay. at least until we can send out another tram. And some of the ensigns and the other people look a little more tense. And let's see. So, like I said, it looks like a tram, like a subway station, but there are a set of controls that bring about um, 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 some of the things. There is a tram in the tunnel right now, like in front of you guys. Half of it looks demolished, as if crumpled into just this sheet metal, as if something kind of bursted through it in an attempt to get into the barracks. But thankfully, some of the soldiers moved to unhook the cars from each other. So the other parts of the tram look operatable. And so two of the soldiers, they have thermite at the ready, and so they begin moving quietly down the hallway. The mark will be the sound of the tram turning on. Thacker and I are going to get into the I suppose the what do you guys call the cabin of the caboose?
The car? Or am I wrong?
A car?
No, I'm talking about like the thing that's the pilot's seat, the conductor's chair.
Oh yeah.
There you go. I was looking for the conductor's chair. um Alrighty. So what we'll do is as they move into the tram, is there anything you guys want to do to prepare?
Did you say of the two trams, there's the one we're going to take and then the other one is inoperable?
Half of the tram was destroyed, but they unhooked it because they're cars. If that makes sense.
I guess I guess just picturing me, is it just one track or is it two tracks? Like I'm picturing one-way or two-way traffic here.
There'll be two tracks, enough that like they could move at least into. There'll be two ways to move in and out of the base.
Now, is there another? Do you all have another cart that could go in the opposite direction? Maybe. I'm just saying, maybe put the explosives on that and draw them away from you all instead of you all just drawing them to yourselves. Right.
That could be possible. I think the thing we're worried about is, there's still a likelihood they could chase us. If that's the case. We were thinking of putting thermite, towards somewhere in the barracks, and then.
Oh, I didn't think you'd be on the tram. I just thought you'd like that thing where they like put a brick on like the pedal and it just goes. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, I get your point. I'm talking more like it could still come after our particular, and like someone's just like, you know what, I'm overthinking it. Let's put let's do what you do.
I mean, it's just a suggestion, and if people want to do the heroic sacrifice thing here, that's totally within their rights.
Lan raises his hand.
I wouldn't actually. I don't advise it.
Is there any possible way to rig the communication system on the tram that we are using it as a distraction to put out excess noise?
I was about to suggest the same thing. I'm sure I've got some mixtapes or like some demo tapes from like failed people that want me to help make them celebrities that I could just put on a speaker for the tram going the other direction.
If you got time, grab the extra awful stuff. Psychological warfare, you know.
Sumi's just scratching her head. Okay, let's what we have to do quick. So let's put the thermite on the car. Let's do whatever you want with the surround system, and
I feel like Jim Jr. must have had a demo tape at some point that he personally wanted out there. That I think would be a good for this distraction.
Okay. Sure. Is it your own music or is it Jim
Oh no,
Jr.'s?
it's like Jim Jr. trying to like break into the scene and make a name for himself.
Well, he's the producer. I think he might have like a couple like demos of people that were just too awful to debut. We could also do Jim Jr. just sweet serenades.
Yeah.
Jim Jr. sweet serenades. Okay. So I'll say, how about this? You figure that make me a d20 roll to see if you can um um figure it out.
Okay. This would not be stay cool, I assume.
No, this is more technology.
Okay.
This is something to do with technology.
18.
Okay, so long range communications appear to be down. Short range communications work just fine. Think more like Bluetooth. You would probably have the equivalent of like a really good like from your what do they call it? From any computer you might have or any like personal device, the range of the Bluetooth would probably be pretty far. So as you're moving away, you technically start just blasting it. And you go to the controls. You open the windows of the rig. As everyone's rigging thermite to it, you're kind of opening the windows and like boop, 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 and like you're hearing it louder and louder and louder a bit, and like everyone's kind of looking at you nervously, you know. And you're going on each side and upping the volume, and then you look at this and like you're very certain it will do exactly what you think it's gonna do. So the thermite's rigged up, and you got a mixtape loaded on your phone, communicating to the Bluetooth of the train, as you've probably been given access, and then Lon and the other soldiers look very satisfied that they're not going to be doing a heroic sacrifice. So everyone's getting on the train, and things are powering up because they're at the conductor's chair, and then they just like press the button, and you hear this like the lights on your train turn on, and like the just like the thrumming of a train about to leave station. Then you start hearing the distant crashes as it begins to approach, and Sumi's like, and she kind of like looks over to the conductor's chair of the other train, and looks to you, accent in she's like, hit it.
Yeah, I think Jim Jr.'s rendition of "All I Want for Christmas" starts playing.
There's
All I want for Christmas
I was going to say.
is you.
There's only one thing I want for Christmas. There's only one thing I need.
Will this get me closer to Lavarche?
And like, Sumi, presses a button. Actually, Thacker just presses the button because he has access to codes and stuff. So he's pressing the button, and then the train on the other side begins to take off, as just this sort of like very New Yorker accent just reverberates through the train tunnels. And you guys begin to pick up speed, and you're hearing this, and like seeing the previously destroyed tram cars getting crushed further, and then just these loud impacts, and it heads in the direction with the thermite.
You know, maybe we should. Now that I think about it, that music might be worth something now that he's dead. Probably. I mean, like, we left him there, and that he can never shut up. So I'm just assuming, like, R.I.P. Jim Jr.
Hey, kid, and like you see this cubby open on one of the cars of the trans, and you see this Jim Jr. kind of wrapped up in a blanket, and the droid right next to a bunch of his luggage. Hey, so I was moving some stuff over here for different reasons, and then this creature just started tearing shit up. So I decided to stay in here, and I think I took a nap. But then I heard you distributing my music, and I thought, like, first I'm like, oh man, that's way against contract. But then I was like, oh my god, he loves my work. And then you hear this explosions rock the tunnels of the mountain, and you're seeing like the tunnel around you kind of like not cave, but they certainly move by how much thermite they put to this thing. And the tram is just chugging along, like, wow, oh wow, that's just beautiful. You can kind of see it over there. It kind of looks like it's no, it's not getting closer. So kid, okay, I have a bunch of other tracks. I don't know how you got to the rest of them. I'm stoked. I'm ecstatic. And eventually,
What kind of fucking sleeping pills do you take that, like, you missed out on all of this?
the ones that aren't legal, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, God.
The tram shrieks out of the from the underground terminal, and the sounds of crashing and smashing they die down with the sounds of the explosions. And now you're speeding in the open air of Bandy Prime towards Windows Station. There is an eerie silence that has blanketed over the world around you. There's the only sound of the tram, and it's kind of silent as it is an advanced piece of technology. So there's this tenseness in the air. There is sorry, we lost my place. If any of you look up, you see dark clouds rippling through the sky, pregnant with some strange crackling energy. In the distance, you can see something else, but it's not entirely too clear what it is. It's too far away, but it is in the direction of Windows Station. That silence begins to replace itself as you're moving through the tram, as the tram is moving through the plains of the planet, with an eerie buzzing. It sounds almost like the blades of a helicopter, but more scintillated. Can anyone roll me a d20 to locate the source of the noise? Okay.
3.
So, all right. What did you roll, Talva?
The exact same.
Okay. I rolled a d20 for Sumi. Sumi points it out, like, guys. What the hell is that? And everyone in the Marines begin to kind of look out the window where she's pointing, and it's close enough that you can see what it is, but even as you're looking at it, you're having a hard time developing what it actually is, because you can't tell where the human parts end and the machinery and chitin begin. Its wings are a strange flitting blue blur, with strange hunks of metal lodged as its torso. The eyes are unmistakably blue on one side and hazel on the other. They're human. It so far doesn't seem to notice you, but it is this mech size, at least slightly smaller than normal mechs, but large enough to be far bigger than any of you. This swaying, buzzing thing.
Just to clarify, when we say human parts, is this thing? I'm picturing two different things. Does it look like parts of it are just like humanoid, like meshed in with whatever the rest of this creature is, or is it like a gargantuan thing that's just like a matrix of human bodies making up part of it?
There's a matrix of human body parts, but nothing. Like I said, its many eyes have different eye colors. Think like a bug, but all the eyes are human eyes. You were out saying something, Sean, but you were muted.
Yeah. This is probably why the bugs are being quiet.
You're muted, Talva.
Oh, no, I think I was just too quiet. Sorry. Sorry, it gets harder to do the longer the night goes on. This could be why the bugs are being quiet.
And Talbot just kind of nods her head in like disgust and awe at whatever the fuck this thing is.
You do notice it is making sounds, but it's akin to.
Can I discern any patterns out of that?
Ooh, roll me a d20.
Can I use my backstory? Can I use my spec ops backstory? My spec ops background.
I don't think your spec ops background would help you here. This is genuinely something you've never seen before. I just want to. What I'm trying to communicate here is that they're incomprehensible.
I got 14.
And horrible.
I want to drive my character insane.
To the closest vagaries of your mind, you have never seen this before. And I would like to mention, and I think this contributes to you're beginning to see why you are assembled here with a team, because these are not only incomprehensible, but they are horrific. So I'm gonna roll a d20 real quick. It continues either not to notice you, or to be passive in a way. You're not entirely certain, and honestly, the longer that it is not flying next to the tram, but flying visibly to you by the tram, the more you're afraid it's going to attack. And Sumi has her weapons ready. You see Thacker is just hunched over the conductor's chair. This is sort of like, yes, well, okay, well, almost there. We might be going into something bad. So once we exit the tram, we are running. Okay? Good. Everyone gets their weapons ready. And what we're gonna do is okay. Eventually you slide into the tram station. There's a quick, sudden outburst of steam and air as it moves into the station. And before it even begins, as it's slowing down, soldiers are hopping out. Everyone is exiting as soon ASAP. Are you guys doing the same? Already.
Very much so.
Okay. There is a sudden peeling of metal. This and suddenly the creature from before dives in, but it's not even focused on you. It begins to just tear at the tram car. Sumi and others begin to point their rifles, and Thacker's just like, what's say?
Is this one of the invisible creatures, or
no,
like Mothra?
Mothra. We're calling it Mothra right now. But as everyone begins to point weapons, Thacker's just like, just let it eat the damn thing. We're at the home stretch. Hang us, elevator, go! And everyone begins to run through the terminals, getting an estimation of what the hell's going on. So I assume you guys do as well. And you split off from the remaining soldiers as they rush for their objective. Everyone's going for different things. The powerlifters are somewhere different than the actual mechs. So you guys are going there. Now, the terminals have windows. Big windows. I'd like to ask you a question. Do you guys like to know what the center of the storm is?
Please.
So as you are running closer and closer towards the I'll say the airstrip section of the window station, you get to see in the distance what appears to be the center of a storm, bristling with lightning but evoking no thunder. The glimmering blue light of the electricity coming from the center of the storm reveals its source and its true form. A massive cube, thick and black in some places and clear and mirror-like in others. It is pretty big from your estimation of it, but you can tell that this is hundreds, thousands of miles away. And that is well and truly massive beyond the scope of what you can see. Now, you and the brigade now rush through the obliterated remnants of Window Station. The airport-like structure has been demolished, pummeled, clawed, and incinerated in many places. Many parts of this floor are inaccessible thanks to roof collapses or sudden acid pits. But as that scintillated screech suddenly returns, you see Sumi and Thacker come up from behind on a hovering cart. They kind of motion you like come on, hop on, let's go. Alrighty. So as you guys get onto the cart, Sumi just yells, "Hold on to your butts!" and then just floors it. There are exos sounding like they're approaching from further down the terminal. More gunfire seems to reverberate throughout this this structure. And you guys are now just gunning for the windows. She is just launching you through. I want you guys to roll me a agility save, which is also just roll me a d20.
Can I get bonuses for seeing a window up ahead and getting ready and bracing themselves?
Say again?
Sean would have been bracing themselves as soon as they saw that the vehicle pointed at windows.
Oh, okay. So Pt.2, Thaddeus. Okay.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that we hear exos coming towards us, or they're essentially on top of us already at this point?
You can turn around if you want.
Because it's if stuff is on top of us, then instead of like bracing for a slam, I've got a shotgun-looking thing out to get it off of the cart.
You're hearing them approach, which
Okay.
means that they're rapidly approaching faster than your cart, but they're not exactly on you just yet, which is why probably gunning for the windows.
Also, was everyone supposed to do the dice roll?
Yes.
I got a 19.
Nice.
All right. So Thaddeus, you're going to take 1 kinetic damage from the glass. Everyone brace properly. I think you just get shell shocked by the sudden jump in the air, and you got sliced a little bit by a lot of the glass. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. So alrighty. So you can see as you smash through the terminal windows, rocking back and forth like a pendulum as it bangs on the concrete and slides back to up to a hovering distance. That in several parts of the terminal where like equipment gets taken out and in, that there are some surviving soldiers, and they look like they've been there for a hot minute, hiding in between different nooks and crannies. Thacker just kind of just adjusts himself and like, unorthodox landing, Corporal, but well done. I am unlocking the hangar doors now. Enter your frames as soon as possible. And you can see kind of in, close by, there is the space elevator. There is that center of the storm in the distance, and you're hearing all these creatures begin to approach, which means it's time to suit up. And so the hovercraft just swerves close to the hangar, and then as it winds up, you kind of guys see being unlatched from their hooks, your mechs in their full glory. And I just want you guys to start suiting up. Tell me how you guys suit the fuck up.
Well, since I have the flex suit, I kind of just quickly jump into that. Like I just like throw my cape off graciously, and then pull out my flex suit and just sort of scurry to get it on.
I smashed the button on my suit to cause me to go invisible again, and I basically just like slip out of sight, and then what I'm actually doing is scurrying up the back of my mech into the cockpit and sliding in, very obviously discreetly due to my invisibility, but
Rock on.
and then the second it turns on, like when I'm able, just shoot into the air, because I'm always when I'm fighting, I like ideally hardly ever touch the ground if possible.
Mosquito online. Pt.2, as you put on your flex suit, as you're in close proximity with your mech kind of just sort of jolts, like just a sudden static shock coming from your body and just suddenly entering your your robot. Your mech approaches and then just grabs you and then shoves you in, and it begins
I was
to
gonna
kind
try
of
to snap for it, but I guess it could grab me already.
We are one. We are Lavash.
Indeed. Now let's get you working, old friend.
Both of you begin to power up. How about anyone else want to power up? Oh, we got Sean Blake. Okay.
Yeah, so Sean actually has a sylph suit as well as the hard assault. So Sean like grabs what looks like just like a bucket, dumps it into his shirt, puts on the armor suit, climbs up the back of his mech, and has it launch out, and the contrails from the flight system kind of leave like white wings behind him as it goes up. And meanwhile, he also plugs in fully, completely, and utterly one with the subjectivity enhancement suite, and greets his voiceover.
Sean Todd online. The angel flies. Okay, we still have. How about you, Axon? What's going on with Axon?
Yeah, Axon does not have a stealth suit. He does not have any jumpy flyy shit. He is just running straight for his mech, not ungracefully, but just very straightforward about it. As he approaches, I think it opens up almost a little like conveyor to kind of climb in from the bottom, and as he kind of climbs into the cockpit. I think it's like, if anybody's got any of those like speakers or computers that like transmit light, like different colored light and shit, but it runs through like all the different colors as it's coming on. I think his suit does that, like very flashy, going through like all the RPG patterns. And as I'm in it, my info skin kind of like syncs up with it, so that like hair, like battle battle markings and everything sync up and match up with the mech.
Okay, I think some classical music would start playing, and by classical music I mean TNT dynamite, TNT, so you wanna fight. And as your system begins to boot up, you hear Poltergeist online, and the music is just blasting, and now it's starting to blast out of your fucking speakers.
Yes, I definitely have loudspeakers on my Mac. Thank you,
Okay.
Raven, for the raid. Welcome, Raiders.
Welcome, Raiders. You just jumped in on us suiting up and getting getting the fuck into our mechs. All right, so Talva, how do you kind of picture your character kind of jumping into your character into Buzzard?
Wow. Buzzard, it has like a bunch of hatches open and whatnot, and it kind of looks like when you leave, like a jar of like slime, and it kind of like melts onto the surrounding floor, and then she just kind of uh taps with her finger onto like this like weird ooze that have like coagulated onto the floor and just like pouring out, and then just and goes back into the mech as she walks towards it. A hatch that looks about her shaped, which just it looks like gel on the inside, and then she just puts her hands into it, and with all four arms just into it as she gets pulled in, and it just and just kind of and then her hands pop out the front, and she drops down.
You hear Thacker like, I was wondering what we were going to do with that. I didn't know if I was to clean it or anything. And then you hear your mech begin to boot up. Buzzard online. And then you hear this kind of bird shriek, which you're pretty sure is a bald eagle or a buzzard. You don't know. You're just kind of using human phrases, and it all blends together. Alrighty, so we are all suited up here. We're gonna take you to our map. I drew it myself. Please don't hate. But I did some art of our situation. If you can zoom out, Patrick, I want to kind of just give you a layout of the field here. Um, just let me know when that's done.
That is as out as I can zoom. So you tell me what you'd like.
That is perfectly fine. I will begin to note locations and what they look like. This is our space elevator. As you can see, it's kind of circular and goes up. It goes up for a very long time. It goes up all the way to space, and it connects with different parts of Bandy Prime. Up here is a little platform, which appears like maybe one size 1 mech could hop in on. There are barricades cover here, which act as deployable cover from the mech equipment, and 2 unactivated turrets. I'm now going to highlight where I want you guys to deploy. It's right around here. If you see that. And then when you guys are done deploying, which is dragging your token from the journal and bringing it somewhere nearby, here, I'll then describe the creatures that will be rising to meet you.
I don't
I-
have a token or have my token program put in my roll 20 sheet.
Weird. I thought I gave you access. Let me. Oh, okay. Alrighty. I think I
It's
have.
not letting me take mine either.
That is so weird. Oh, we were gonna tackle
Just
that.
Same.
copy and paste them over if you have them on a different page.
I'm gonna see if I can get yours, Mosquito. I'm gonna get Mosquito in a second. I gave you access now. Let me know if that's better. Let me see here, because I can, if I have it, I can put it in. I would put it. Yes, here.
Yeah, mine's just a little guy with a head.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm getting it right now. I think I have it here.
No problem.
No, it's not right. So the RPGs. That's our. No, but I did. Okay, hold on. Sorry, this is taking me a real quick second here. And I think we'll also probably be good for just like one, one maybe 1 or 2 rounds, depending on if we want to. Okay. So
It just let me do it.
Yep, I gave you access. Hold on. I'm almost good here.
I was able to place mine down, but I'm not sure if I'm able to move her.
Oh, that's weird.
It might just be stupid iOS stuff.
Let's, I'm just quickly creating one right now for you, Leland. I have the picture available, but for some reason I just didn't have the didn't have it on me ready at the ready. Already. Okay, we can use this one right now. Again, so sorry for the wait, guys. I'm also going to be putting on some cool combat music in a second here, which I think is going to be really hype. Okay, I have it ready. All right. Okay, there we go. I can. I see where you guys put yours. I have to put over here. Does that work for everybody? Okay.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
I'm gonna give everyone while you're getting set up. I'm just gonna zoom in on our beautiful mechs to show off to folks.
Yes. And like I said, they were made by Retrograde Minis. They're on. It's a website that you can make your own custom fantasy creatures and characters, as well as mech characters. So I'm now going to bring our darling, horrifying creatures into view here. Drop the volume if you guys want. So 1, 2,
Oh,
3, 4. Let's see here. Okay, so let me introduce our creatures. This is let's see here. This one right here. Oh, I'm on GM. This one is the creature you saw flying before. It flies into view and kind of begins this dread rast. You see this crackling energy getting prepared. But you also see something more akin to a kind of like a bug, like an insect, but something less made up of inanimate matter, and something more closer to like a biological creature with spikes jutting across its back and the same kind of this acidic energy kind of dripping like drool. Over here we have a strange tortoiseshell like torso with 7 mouths and arms that come out of each. As it launches out of the ground, its arms retract inside its mouths as it begins to bite into the nearest material or creature it can see. Arms come out of seven different mouth holes and shove raw material into its torso-like center. It looks like a burrower of some kind. And over here, you can see a pile of misshapen limbs, like a strange pile of flesh with misshapen arms and limbs sprouting from it. Alrighty, and here we have what appears to be a meatball-shaped creature with 2 limbs, glowing yellow eyes, and a massive maw. Alrighty, so
what was that roll? Sorry, I didn't know if I needed to roll a d20 or not because I saw some rolls. I was like, maybe they said something because I had to put my headset down.
No, it's okay.
No, we were just getting described all of these terrible creatures. That was
Cool. I'm sure they're real terrible.
I can reiterate when if they do anything to you or you do anything to them.
Got it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I heard most of it. I just had to go for it.
I'm sure we'll hear all about all of the torsos again very soon.
Okay. So here's how combat goes, kiddies. You start. You guys start. And you can choose who goes first in your turn order. This turn order will remain the same, going throughout the battle. However, each time a player takes a turn, the enemy will also take a turn. As we're still learning how to play this game, this is sort of a football match. You guys are gonna keep fighting the enemy until they're exterminated. But there are plenty of different game modes that exist that will be interesting once we have more human-like enemies, things that also pilot mechs and other kinds of things. So you guys can select who wants to go first. How about that?
Anybody feeling real strong about going first?
Me, I will go first. I want to fly really high, but still within range of my sniper rifle. You know the deal. That's why they call me the mosquito,
Okay,
because
so
I
let me.
fly.
you
Stupid ass
so you want
reason.
to? I don't know. It's really unclear. It seems like you want to fly somewhere.
I'm just into flying. Really, something
All
I'm
right.
into.
So let me see here. You have Type 1 flap system. Um, you will take 1 heat at the end of your turn if you fly this way. So you can count all of your movement as flying. You have 5 spaces. Where do you want to go?
This is a bad guy here, eh?
Yep.
I'm going to. Well, my sniper rifle is very high in range. I think.
Yes, it goes
Could you tell me how
15
far?
spaces. So
15
you can.
spaces.
So yeah, if you want to maneuver somewhere, that you don't you're less likely to get hit by, it's up to you.
Hold on a second. Give me a second. I'm measuring out how far 15 spaces is for myself. Yeah, that's like the whole map, bro. So I'm just gonna fly up, and I'm just gonna shoot the one that's furthest out.
Okay, so it
Way
sounds
over
like
here.
you want to hit the puddle of flesh with limbs, like misshapen limbs. Okay.
Yeah, that seems like something that's worth shooting, I think.
All right. Roll
Yeah,
me
and
a
I'm using my I'm gonna use my thermal rifle. That's just my main rifle.
Your thermal rifle has 5 spaces. Your Cyclone Pulse has 15.
Ooh, okay, that's the one you were saying. That's 15. Well, that's the one I'm using then, pal.
Super heavy. All right, and you roll just a straight d20, but since it's an accurate weapon, you roll an additional d6. And I'll tell you the result.
All right. Nat 20 plus a 5, so 25.
Okay, so and that 20 means you get to roll 66, and you only take 3 of the highest numbers. So it's not like it's double damage, it's just you get the highest amount of damage possible.
All right, so 5, so 14 plus 3, 17 damage total.
So it's 5 and 5. Oh, if you're taking the highest, it's only 14.
I know, but I get a plus 3 damage. It's 3d6 plus 3 damage.
Okay. Oh.
So that's plus 3, so 17 total, right?
Okay.
Or do I double that 3?
No, it's just plus the bonus.
Okay.
Alrighty. So let me see.
I wasn't trying to like do a
Did
gotcha
he
there.
explode it?
I
Did
just
he
thought those
explode it?
He exploded.
I think
He exploded.
I think explode implies that this thing was like solid at one point.
So you fly up in the air.
just straight up.
You're not technically moving, so I'm not going to give you the heat because that'll make me an asshole. Unless you're moving. Are you moving?
I don't really see a need to. I just wanted to fly up.
Okay.
Higher, basically, get a vantage point.
So you fly up. You fly out of the hangar. These creatures are already here, and you pick them. You pick and this, just the target that seems to attract your attention. Puddle with limbs. Oh God. You see this. Your mech recoils from the power of this bullet, and you hit just precisely on the dot the actual core of the creature, and you see the bullet just, and the puddle just goes flying like mud, and just splatters in a nearby hangar, and kind of coats the ground with its sort of strange regenerating blood. This thing.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, while this is happening, my thrusters are kicked into overdrive to keep me in place from the recoil, so it doesn't make me fly back out of my space or whatever.
Okay. So, as far as you're aware, you've destroyed this thing. Good work. You see the heat rising from your weapon. What you just did was a barrage. You can only use this weapon with a full action,
Yeah.
and it will take another full action to reload it. But thankfully, you have another weapon. So just so you know, like going forward, you can't use this thing until you reload it.
Got it.
All right.
I'll reload it then, because that's probably what I'm gonna. That's mostly gonna be my fighting style, is just one and gunning things while I'm flying in the air.
Okay. So this creature, so these other creatures, they note the sudden explosion of puddles, and you hear the pile of human stuff and machinery, the flying spewer, the flyers. I call them spewers. They let out this, and it trains its sights on you. It also appears like it has some range to it. It's going to move up here to the. Actually, let's see where and how we'll be able to hit you. So if we move 2 spaces, perfect. Up to this platform, and it is going to make a ranged attack at you, with a d6 bonus. Okay. So let me roll a d6. All right, so that is what's your evasion? There's a little thing that says evasion on your character sheet. Oh, it's 10. It got exactly 10. And it deals you're going to take this is different from your personal HP. This is your mech HP. You are going to take 3 energy. And I'm going to put this on mine, but there's a thing called conditions on the very top of your character sheet, below sloth and mosquito, where it says shredded. We're gonna add that until the end of your turn.
Gotcha.
All right, so it just lets this coalesces this ball of electricity, and then you feel this impact as you're lowering from your flight, and that appears to be it for its turn. Does anyone want to do? Who wants to go next?
May I?
You know what? Go ahead.
Okay. So, just to clarify, it's a super heavy weapon that takes up your whole turn. A heavy mount is just a normal attack, right?
Yes. If you wanted to do one weapon, that would just be a skirmish.
Okay, so
But
I can use. I can.
It's broad, so-
Got
sorry.
it. So I will, since I have to do, if I want to use my heavy rifle, I have to do that before I move, I learned. It has a range of 20, and I'd very much like to shoot whatever electric mucusy thing just flipped out at Mosquito.
Okay, sure. So you are firing with your
With my
Do-
anti-material rifle.
Yes, the heavy one. All right, so you're just doing one quick action to skirmish, unless you want to use multiple weapons here.
So far, it's just gonna be the one, and then we'll see how that goes.
All right, you can also take your movement if you want to move somewhere first.
To use the anti-material rifle, I have to shoot it before I move, because it is ordnance. It has that tag.
That is a very good point. Thank you for reading your weapon. All right, go ahead. Roll me a d20. Does it have accuracy? I
It
think?
does have accurate.
So that's a plus a d6.
10. Not that great.
Let's see what's It is exactly 10, so it does hit. So you get to roll me a 2d6.
Yep, I think from the ground, this is probably mounted on the back of my mech, and there's a bunch of lighting that goes all up and along the spine of Poltergeist that our soldier friends are probably getting a good view of, where it's just colorful lights that are like charging up and charging up, like at a carnival ride where you're like shooting into something to charge it, I guess.
No,
And it
no,
is
it's great.
2d6 damage. Let's do it.
All right. 2d6.
11.
Ooh, that is a solid hit. So that also exists. Defies armor too. So
Oh, it is armor piercing.
yeah, it is armor piercing. Yeah. Let me go. Yeah, that might just be. Yeah. I'll look into it later. All right. So yeah, that was a solid hit. Do you want to do anything else?
Yes, I do. Let me see.
Also, this combat music is banging.
Yes.
I know it's like I said, Paul Melanson. Thank you so much for allowing us to use your music. This is really hype, and I can I'm really driving to this particular music as something to like decorate.
So I am going to... Movement is not an action, right? It's its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I move... My movement is 4, so I will move up. I will then use the second half of my second quick action to boost.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I boost, I've got my rapid burst jump jet system. So I don't need to fly to do this, but for flair, I'm adding some jumps into this, some jump jets, and I'm gonna land down here, right next to one of the spewers.
Okay. To clarify, they are above you. Like I said, the platform.
Are they above?
They are above.
How
Sorry.
high?
I'd say maybe 10 or 15 feet above.
So can we say part of my jump jet system, would I be able to... Because my plan was to overcharge my mech for another action. Could I, while I was doing my flare booster jump, can I come down with my sword and get it while I'm landing?
Sure. You have a rapid burst jump jet system, which allows you to fly when you boost. You must end the ground. I'll correct myself. I'll say it would be 10 feet, not 15. But even then, I'm not sure how you would be able to get that high. Also, you could try to, like, as you're landing, you could try the thermal pistols, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, no. I'm just not gonna overcharge at that point. I'm just gonna use my boost to get there, and I will end my turn.
Okay, yeah, that's right. All right, so we're getting close to 1. If you guys prefer, we can keep going and finish the round, and then we'll be done for tonight, or we can be done now. I think we'd be better if we had the whole turn done, but I know some people would probably want to go to sleep. So
I'm fine with sticking around to the end of the round.
Yeah, we can finish the round.
Okay, great. So then what we're gonna do is next turn will be, I'm gonna. One, two, three. Oh, where did I put the other one? Sorry, I'm just looking at my shit. You know, I'm gonna go this one here. The burrower, the one with the tortoise shell with all the mouths and arms, of course. So let's see what it wants to do. All right, so it's gonna start moving, but it's also gonna quick action and enter the literally enter the earth and begin to burrow. How many spaces can go? Sorry, I'm just trying to find the amount of spaces it can go. Weird. I'm just gonna, yeah, okay. So it's gonna move here, and then it's gonna take a quick action to boost, but then remain burrowed. So that's the end of its turn. So that will leave us with Talva, Pt.2, and Sean. Which of you do you want to go next?
I can go ahead.
Okay.
Which one was there? That really creepy one, the one that was like ripping apart the cabin that we were in before.
That was the spewer that this one right here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, I can't really get to that, but which one has been less hit?
The one that's been less hit was this one.
Oh, sorry, my thing is. I will aim for that one if I'm able to. I can't see, but I'll aim for that one.
What do you want to hit it with?
I'm going to. Sorry, just. I'm going to use both my. Oh yeah, at the top of the thing, can I do the power up protocol, the hypersec fuel injector?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it gives you accuracy and allows you to boost its reaction once per round.
Yeah. So what does that mean exactly?
Okay, hold on, let me check it real quick just to make sure I'm just doing this right. So your core. Oh, I have to go to your page, don't I? Active mode. Power up. You gain +1 accuracy, which means like you roll d6 on all attacks, checks, and saves. Additionally, once per turn, you can move again. Like you can move and then move again to the same amount of speed, like spaces. So if you could do 4 originally, you can instead do 8. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll do that at the top with a. Sorry, I just gotta double check what it takes.
Mhm.
As a free action, and then I will move. Actually, I'll just move 3 spaces forward if I can.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, like this.
Yeah, and they should be within range of 10, right?
That should be right. That's 6. That's 7. That's 7.
Oh, perfect. And then I will use both of my Nexus lights.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you are your Nexus lights are your auxiliaries, so that's just one mount. Do you want to barrage with an additional weapon, or you just want to do just a quick fire?
And I'll just do the regular for this.
Okay, sure. All right, then roll me 2. Let's see. Roll me yeah, just roll me 2d20 for both.
So I rolled a 3 and a 4. And then I add a d6.
Yes, to both. What'd you get?
Okay. So the 3, I rolled a 2 for that one on the d6, so that's 5. Does that hit?
No.
And then on the next one, I got the 4 plus the 6, so that's exactly 10.
That one hits, so you get to roll a d3. I can roll it on roll 20
yeah,
here.
that'd be perfect. Thank you.
Right, so that's 2 damage. Your drone lights just and then automatically as you're moving forward. It looks like you're surging forward, but the drones have already begun targeting this creature and then started firing. For some reason, there's this brief energy wave, and the bullets of one turret sort of miss their mark as they're being guided, but the other doesn't seem to be affected by this effect. And you get to see its carapace just splotches of blue blood. And hearing this sort of rasping. So that's 2 damage. Good job. Alrighty, so your turn. Okay, great work. So that's your turn. Talon. All right, and we're getting closer to finishing here. So the biter gets to move this amount of space to approach you, and now you're being surrounded by them. Hurricane.
I hate these names, by the way.
So this like I said, this meatball creature with 2 legs and nothing. This bite. You need to make me a hull save.
Hull save. That is
Yeah.
that is a thing I can do. How do I do that thing?
That is a very good question. Let me just take a look at the rules here real quick. I think you're rolling a d20 and adding any bonuses you have from hull if you put anything in there. That might be it. I'm also taking a look right now.
I do have a 1 in hull.
So maybe a +1. Hold on, I'm just looking. Saves. This is a game that takes a long time to master.
It's fine. It's not gonna matter. I rolled a 4, so that's a 5, assuming that I add the 1. I don't think we're gonna find anything to add to the 4 to make it help.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you do not need it save. So you are gonna take 4 burn damage. Burn, of course, being stress. Oh no, that's not right. Okay, the actual book is not responding to me, so I'm just looking things up.
So is burn different than HP, or is it?
Burn is different from HP.
I see that up in the corner. I don't know what it is, but I put 4 in there.
Oh. I know. I'm just trying to get this book to work so I can give you a better idea of what that means. There might still be damage. I'm terribly sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I'm trying. It really doesn't want to tell me. I'm just gonna say, just take 4 heat right now.
Oh, 4 heat. That sounds bad.
I don't know. I'm just trying to give you a better idea. I'm terribly sorry. And then it's gonna take its next action to just bite at you. Okay, so it's 12. Okay, so that succeeds. You're gonna take 6 kinetic damage.
So that is hit points.
So that's hit points. And I will also say, make me a engineering save. So if you have any bonus to engineering,
I sure don't.
Okay.
And that's a 7.
So save for him. Yeah, that's 10. So you are now slowed until you gain any HP or for the rest of the scene.
What does slowed do?
Slowed, I'm gonna
Found
put
it.
it up.
The only movement
Yeah.
slowed characters can make is their standard move on their turn. They can't boost or make any special moves granted by talents, systems, or weapons.
Yep.
Well, that
So
sucks.
you're seeing this creature just take a massive bite out of you, and just being even near this thing appears to like make your system go haywire. And now you see that sort of like the adhesive just sort of bind your mech together. And so you're realizing you're getting quickly outnumbered. I will have better idea what these rules are after next time. Please don't hate. So now we'll have two more, Ruhig or Zeta. Now that you're seeing things go a little differently, what's the plan?
Don't get into hand-to-hand combat with them.
Ruhig, do you want to?
Which is, I'm going to.
My answer is done.
I have. Sorry, enter combat. Sorry, I have to go back into the enter combat thing. Where's my mech? Forgot you have to click all the extra buttons.
I did find what burn is, in case anyone's curious how fucked I am.
What is it?
When characters take burn, it has two effects. First, they immediately take that burn damage, ignoring armor, and then they mark down the burn they just took on their sheet. At the end of their turn, characters with burn marked must roll an engineering check. On a success, they clear all the burn currently marked, otherwise they take that same amount of burn damage again.
Okay. Woo. By the way, it has to have it charged, so it's only something that it can do every once in a while. This is not something that it can do recurring. It has to take time to recharge it. So you're not gonna have to deal with it later. You're just gonna have to deal with the burn now.
So maybe if I succeed on this check, it'll just go away. With a 15, is that enough?
Yes, it will succeed on
Okay.
the save. So you'll take that burn damage, and then it gets put out maybe by just the thrill of combat. So like I said, two more people. Sean, Pt.2, do you want to fight for who goes last?
I'll go if you want.
Up to Pt.2, but if you want to go first, then go ahead.
Go right ahead.
All right. I'm going to launch my. Actually, I'm pretty sure. I might. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where's the measurement thing.
Here it is if you want to use it.
Yeah. Because I was planning on using my hunter killer drone. The
Hunter Killer.
hunter killer nexus thing.
Yes.
My nexus, my main nexus.
Mhm.
Want
to activate your aura.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember how to use this.
You just roll a d20. I'll tell you if it makes or not. You don't have any accuracy to unless you want to use your core first.
You know what? I think I'm gonna use my core.
Yeah, things are looking bad. Core's up. Then roll me a d20 with a d6. Now, who are you aiming at, actually?
What's this guy?
He's a burrower. You can attempt to attack him, but he counts technically as invisible while burrowed.
That's Meatball.
Meatball is here. Yeah.
What's this one?
I did shoot one of the spewers to hell with my anti-material rifle too. Like, one is pretty fucked up.
This one looks like you could maybe do some damage potentially. You can also maybe help out this guy here.
Yeah, I'm thinking of taking out the Meatball because that looks like it's yeah, I'm gonna send them after Meatball.
All right. Begin firing. All right, roll me a d20 with d6.
Just trying to get it to. Sorry. Having.
Okay.
11.
11? No, that's 25. That's technically a natural 20. So you get to roll 2d6 and take the highest one, I believe.
Okay.
That's a natural 20, dude. Yeah,
It is?
that's a 2d6. Yeah, it's a natural 20 in this case is anything that goes above 20 or above. So it doesn't mean 20 on the die.
Gotcha.
As long as it's at 20 or above. So it's a 2d6 and only take the highest die roll.
I just realized I am scrolled way the fuck up. I thought I'd only rolled an 11. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, 2d6 is what I need to roll. Just... Eight.
All right, so so it takes the full 6 damage.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it has armor, I think. Yeah, yes, the bugger has armor, so that's 5, which is pretty good. That at least makes it so you kind of lock on and like just fire and like I said, burst of blood. It looks pretty angry, but so far it's kind of locked in combat. So it will take that damage, and then it would be the ooze's turn, but as far as you can tell, the ooze, this thing doesn't appear to be moving after getting shot the fucking hell. But it's a strange ooze creature, so who's to say what could happen next? So we're gonna move on to Pt.2, if you have anything you want to do with your character.
I'm actually going to deploy drones.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Yeah. Where do you want to put it?
Let's back up my friend over there who's having some fun little troubles.
So right here.
Yes, please.
Alrighty, you got it. So I'm pulling out the turret. Here you go. Is there anything else you want to do?
Let me see. I can still take an action, right? Or
let me see. I think that might be a quick action, which means you could fire technically if you wanted to. Yes, this is a quick action, so you can deploy the drone, and then you can take another action if you want. Your assault rifle is in range of any of this guy and these guys.
which one again? Sorry, I was checking my my sheet.
You're in line with this guy and these guys.
Let's take out the one at the one at the very the one that my drone is right behind.
Oh, this guy?
Actually, no. Let's go to the one over there. The one next to it. There we go.
Okay. All right. So roll me a d6. Or sorry, not d6. D20.
D20. Got it.
We're about to be done. So send this off. Let's see. 10. I think that's exactly it. Roll me a d6.
That's a 1.
It soaks it up with the armor. I'm so sorry.
Oof.
Okay, so now we are at the end of the round. However, I need to ask you something, Leland. I have a question concerning oh, I didn't do the spear too. Fuck. That's fine. We'll take care of them later. So Leland, what kind of weapon was your Cyclone Pulse? It's kinetic, right?
Yeah, kinetic.
Okay. So you watch as the ooze that you just destroyed is splattered across. It begins to move and recoalesce, much weaker than before. Now, you're pretty sure you destroyed it, but this thing appears to regenerate unless something specific happens. I'm gonna say, all right, you're gonna need to bust out an energy weapon to put this fucking thing down. And as it recoalesces, you hear this roar and this distance, and this thudding, and this much bigger creature appears to get closer, further and further in distance, further than any of your weapons can reach. And it seems like this fight is far, far from even beginning. And I think that's where we're gonna cut until next session. That was very gratifying. I've been waiting for so long to bust these fucking creatures out. How are you feeling about Exos?
Yeah, I'm gonna blow them up.
I already drew you one.
Yeah, the big cube, ominous cube in the distance. My God. I'm surprised. It looked really great. If you want to upload that to Twitter, I would love to retweet that.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely planning on after tonight and just being like, so this happened.
Yeah, ominous cube in distance. Also, invisible creature that can just, do whatever. Bug
And the
machinery.
fact that you didn't describe it very well, and the fact that all of us were a bit confused as to how it actually looked or interacted worked perfectly.
All right. So next session we're gonna keep combat up. I'm very happy with how this has gone. I would like to say thank you guys so much for coming along and continuing this after a long hiatus. I feel like we're just beginning to dig into the combat, and we're gonna see how good we can improve on it. And the more we're getting closer and closer to this operation orientation day part 3 will be probably next week. So final thanks to the Simulacra for our final theme. I'm just gonna play it now because it sounds so good. I want to thank Retrograde Minis for the system that allows us to build all these cool mechs. I want to thank Paul Melanson for allowing us to use some of his music for combat and theming. And I want to thank everyone here, and I want to thank viewers who are present for coming to tonight's game. So for some final send-offs, I'm gonna send it up to our boy Patrick. Just final plugs or anything.
Yeah, I mean, this was fucking fantastic, by the way. I already hate these things, even just from the names alone. Like, not because I'm getting piled on, just these descriptions I loathe.
Oh boy.
I could not be more thrilled. Yeah, I mean, all I've got to hype is this you're at my channel already, so please follow if you're here. We'll be doing more of this every Wednesday. And you can catch me Tuesday nights on Blackfeather Guild with Alex, and just, having a great treasure hunting, legally distinct from Borderlands time there.
Mm-hmm. That character is high chaos.
I was gonna ask you mine or yours, but just yes, everyone's. Everyone's.
Alrighty. Next we have Talon at Cathena Draws.
There we go. Hello. Yeah, it was really freaking fun. I don't know, something about this, it feels a lot like, I don't know, because I played D&D in the past, but I really I'm a junkie for the role play. I just love the character interactions and stuff, but holy shit, that was fun. Also, I want to murder these abominations.
Who wouldn't?
Who
These
wouldn't? I mean, maybe maybe. I don't know. Maybe like one of them's gonna be like, oh, I had 1 day till retirement. But
Is this their day job?
yeah, it's a day job. Yep.
Is this what it is? Okay.
They get paid half of minimum wage. We're just doing them a favor by putting them out of their misery.
Oh, I would love to hear, like, is it a casting call or is it like an interview type situation? Like, oh, what makes you think you'd be good for the job? Well, I'm an abomination. Okay, that's good.
When I explode, I come back together.
Here is my CV. My resume.
I don't know if there's anything else. Oh yeah, I do artsy stuff. Surprisingly, a lot of like magic items or like just D&D logo, like RPG logos, all sorts of things related to RPGs. It's my life now. So yeah, follow me at Kathina Draws, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And next we have Pt.2 or Jules Harlock.
Yes, hello. This session was fun. Got to explore the character a little bit more and their mysterious past, and they're finally reunited with their true love. But Lavarsh is itching to slash up some weird meatballs. But as you would question what the hell a meatball is, but this has been wonderful, and I mostly do film stuff, but I'm on Twitter at Eeksaw1 and as well as Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, wonderful. I always love some film stuff, man. So check out at Ikazu1. They are such a good person. Thank you for coming. Next we have Agent Boss, Alex.
I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute myself, but every time I would go down to it, the menu would go away. Hi. Holy fucking shit. You got me having some heart, pal, especially when we were just rolling that once. Just like...
Yeah.
You were very kind for not killing us when you very probably should have.
No, it's okay. I wanted to make it a narrative experience, but please go ahead.
Yeah, no, you definitely had us kind of scared shitless as players for a while there. I was like, okay, we may not actually make it out of here. We may be rolling up new characters, especially when Leland turns around and shoots it.
That was probably not advisable.
It's fine.
It
was a distraction. I was gonna shoot it, then go invisible, then run, and let you all deal with it.
Fuck you.
But also like the image of what we managed to do with the train cars.
That was really cool.
It's just like, and I get the weird impression that we are going to have like the legit respect of all soldiers coming into this station now.
I mean, you guys already had some pretty good rep.
Yes, but we didn't leave them behind when we could have.
That's true.
We went out of our way to make sure that they were not left behind.
That's true. That's a good contact to keep in mind for future roleplay / downtime. Alrighty, thank you, Alex. And finally,
you can find me on my channel at CanChaos Art, and on Twitter at the same, or Agent Boss. That's my personal, where I'm a little bit more babbly. Next place you can find me is on Black Feather Guild over at Raven on Saturday, because that is Animus Absentus.
Oh, wonderful. All right,
yeah.
Check them out. And finally, we have Leopold the Just.
Hey everybody, I am Leland / Leopold the Just. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. I'm a social media consultant / roaming tabletop RPGer, so you probably see me on a number of different channels, and I probably post for some account that you follow at some point, or have at some point anyway. This is great fun. I enjoyed finally being able to do the the cool cartoon style like mech mounting sequence. That was like extremely fun, obviously, always, and gonna have fun doing that in all sorts of different ways too, each time we do it. Where you can find me next, kind of the same. Seems like we all hang out, or a number of us hang out at the same spot. You can find me over at the Black Feather Guild on Friday night. It's twitch.tv/RAVVYN. I'm sure that's already been put in Twitch chat, but at 7 p.m. Central, I think that's probably wrong. But we play a masks game. It's a lot of fun. Teenage angsty superheroes who are being put through the ringer when we're supposed to just be training at summer camp. So being forced to kind of put our big hero britches on. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We should be jumping back into that on Friday. So definitely come check us out.
Great. I love that we have so many Black Feather alumni. I'm gonna call you guys alumni from now on. Guild members. And I am CheddarboxAVA at Twitter / CheddarboxAVA. I do tabletop stuff. I'm chill. I got some things coming up here and there, but this is kind of my baby, and I really love doing it with you guys. You can also find me on Fridays around 2 o'clock with twitch.tv/Joden, JODDON, for some Star Wars The Old Republic MMORPG play. We're playing through the Republic storyline. I'm playing a Jedi Knight who's goody goody two shoes, and everyone else is playing war criminals. So you know what? That's always fun. We always love war crimes. Hopefully we'll get more views than the fucking U.S. Navy Twitch stream account. You know, we probably can do war crimes better than them. I bet. So just check all these wonderful people out. And from us at the Spare Brigade, thank you all so much for facilitating us. And actually, I just remembered the art that you saw of the exos on the board. That was made by Alana Knight, our buddy Rue. If you want to check out Rue's art, they do have commissions open, I believe. Twitter.com/Ilana Knight, which is on the plugs. So also go check them out. So trying this again, from all of us here at Spare Brigade, have a wonderful Wednesday night, and we'll see you next week. Bye.